$4.5 billion in token unlocks hit this month, kicking off with SUI's $153 million drop today. Bitcoin slid just 1%, but when the flood arrives, will your portfolio float or sink? Welcome to your daily 5-minute crypto brief with Satoshi and Nova. Today is September 1st, 2025. I am Nova.
I am Satoshi. Bitcoin, BTC, saw a bit of a dip, about 1.2% over the last day. It's holding around $107,400. Ethereum, ETH, also shed some value, roughly 1.7%, trading near $4,385. But what really jumps out, I think, is how some of the, let's say, more speculative assets like Dogecoin, 𝗶 𝗶 𝗔𝗽, they took a much sharper hit, right? Down between 3.7% and 5%. Does that bigger drop in meme coins tell us something deeper about how investors are feeling right now?
Oh, it absolutely does, yeah. What's interesting, really, is that this pullback, which is pretty mild overall, it comes right after global risk assets, crypto included, were actually flirting with multi-year highs just last week. So yeah, when meme coins are the first to really shed value, it strongly suggests a quick pivot to risk-off behavior. Even among retail traders, it's less panic, definitely, more like smart profit-taking. Especially since the U.S. markets were closed yesterday for the holiday, crypto was kind of left to its own devices without those usual Wall Street signals.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, zooming out a bit then, there are these broader factors creating some interesting, maybe conflicting currents. We saw some resilience in Asian markets. China's tech and AI sector seemed optimistic, and the U.S. dollar actually weakened a bit, which usually points towards more of a risk-on feeling. How do these global things fit into the crypto picture?
Well, if you connect those dots, the weaker dollar, that resilience in Asian tech, it did create a subtle kind of positive backdrop. Plus, you also had easing geopolitical tensions playing a part. Russian President Putin's recent comments hinting at potential progress towards peace in Ukraine, that reduced global uncertainty. And, better risk sentiment often helps risk assets like crypto. We also saw China's President Xi talking about a new global vision, which maybe boosted regional confidence too. And looking just ahead, this Friday's U.S. employment data, that's going to be huge. It could seriously shift expectations about the Federal Reserve and interest rates. Big impact potential there.
Definitely one to watch. Now, beyond those broader forces, there are some immediate events really creating some buzz right now. Today's September 1st is a big one. The SUI one-time token unlock. We're talking about, roughly 44 million SUI tokens. That's like 1.25% of its circulating supply, worth around $153 million. What happens potentially when that much supply just suddenly becomes available?
Yeah, that's a really key question right now, because this isn't isolated. September is actually shaping up to have this unusually large wave of token unlocks across quite a few projects. Some estimates put the total value at around $4.5 billion unlocking this month alone. Think Fast Token, Aptos, Arbitrum, big names. This concentration of new supply, well, it creates potential headwinds for prices, right? If demand doesn't soak it all up. It's a real test of market depth for these specific coins.
A test indeed. And speaking of new releases, also launching today is the World Liberty Financial, WLFI, token. Now, this one has those notable links to former U.S. President Donald Trump's business interests, and apparently its pre-sales pull in a huge amount, like $550 to $590 million. They're unlocking an initial 20% of 100 billion tokens right away. I imagine a lot of eyes will be watching how that performs.
Oh, absolutely. That kind of pre-sale figure generates a lot of attention, regardless of the project specific. Performance will be closely watched.
So putting it all together for you listening, what does this mean navigating the next few days? It really feels like a mixed bag, doesn't it? Potential upside from those improving macro conditions we talked about.
Yeah.
But also, definite near-term volatility risks from the U.S. jobs data coming up. And crucially, this big wave of token unlocks.
Exactly. It calls for caution. Retail investors especially need to be alert to sudden shifts in sentiment. It's probably wise to maybe avoid overexposure to the really speculative stuff. And certainly be mindful of coins facing these big unlock events shortly. You can argue the market's maturity is really being tested right now by its ability to actually absorb all this new supply smoothly.
It's certainly complex, but always incredibly dynamic, this crypto landscape. Never a dull moment.
That's for sure. And maybe the thought to leave you with is this. How will the market digest this unprecedented wave of unlocks through September? And what does that digestion process ultimately tell us about the maturity, the resilience of the whole crypto ecosystem in the longer run? That's a really fundamental question right now.
A great question to ponder. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into your Satoshi and Nova daily briefing. Stay informed, stay sharp, and we'll connect with you again soon. You've seen the crypto headlines. Now get the signals that impact your holdings. Money.ai scans 1.3 million signals a day, from token prices to Twitter sentiment, and gives you one personalized briefing. No hype, no noise, just your crypto edge. Download Money.ai. Stay ahead.